Odo ye we. Edi makumeni nama.
Back 44 minutes past the hour of 7. Yegusawa ha. Yedeye kick off for I say. A brand name Mickey. And I'm face so the man himself, Tony Montana. I'm gonna kick off in the Brian Sports. Catch them again at 9:40 with the man himself, Joe Laka. I'm about to answer from 9:40 downside to 2 p.m. Yegusawa ha. Yeba be din come on. Yeba head your cost of. My name. Interesting times. Mami can show say Eclipse collateral management say me can show say me no woka say wo epe collateral announce say wo japade bi e da honom a ye di emfanya hwe wo da honom na enhome anopa bi asori ado be di kra asem a o say me can show say they turn properties into profit and into no me pa cho bra na fa wo document no ebro mo no mo fanya adwuma na omo hwe na wo sunya kakra na podwe esane say ehu hia yie pa and into no ho adwuma e no mo ye Eclipse collateral management ehun adwuma na me ho emebo ho dewru akire wonom saa so na mo amuhia collateral de aye adwuma mokwakoje besia mokwakope adwuma titru bi na mo de de sane de fata no monko Eclipse collateral management for ho na moni omo enkodi enkomo sane so mo ene betumi aboa ma bibia etumi akoyi amount and into so hwehwe Eclipse collateral for amepacho omo ewo adentant barrier omo bembere Moses Hospital no and afeso wo hwehwe omo bi omo wo West African SHS Adenta Kwano so honom wo na chipe honom na Eclipse collateral management for omo ewo eniti ko ho na no munkodi nkomo emfa wo besia ho collateral na fe so wa wo japade nkrata da honom wo dia na opese se bi sika no krata na ewo ma wo no obetumi ni Eclipse for akodi enkomo omana ma no 054 383-2466 054-383-2466 and so ebeka Eclipse collateral management for na onyomo edi enkomo Sasa na make sure say ahomka heat patch patch bia ye de eboama pain ewo widie mu obody mu sisim wonam ehfa na uhia say obema pain no akode a na ye ahomka heat patch for na no mbedi nkomo na wakope ahomka heat patch ni bi na wode aye yanuma na ye use hot water bottle na ye de toto ye matels so ne de aka nyina no ye nyai na emom na ahomka heat patch aba aye betumi use na ye de asa ye ho yare arthritis and afiso menstrual cramps for nyina munyusu ahomka heat patch ni bi na de tie nie green wrapper wo to a wo say green green kama nice package woti ano a obemu sa de fitaa bi ekata edro nani woti no no wasan te fitaa na tareketo nani no woti a mo so obehu deep brownish color bi eno na wo de tare bibia wo ya no so na me nada wo use a ekoyie pa o say no pain in 2025 and beyond and into no yankoto bi na yenjai edro na yenom no tablets no edoso dodo enti no so pese ukum pain pa dia ahonka heat patch na oni omo edin komo Accra omo Origin Chemist Art Pharma DM Sphere na Fisu Sub Health Kumase Dani Pharma Alpha Dio Panacea Pharmacy and Fisu Kofrede Gapsin Pharmacy Eastern Chemist and Fisu Tamale Malarigo Pharmacy Takrade Ebuakwa Pharmacy and Fisu Knock Chemist mo pese mo tubi na motono mo so betumi afre number 0599 802297 0599 802297 and also says 0248 509003 0248 509003 and also says 0536 645 338 onsa ebeka ahonka hit patch for na onyomo edi enkomo Sasa na make sure say Kwekwesi Edu Herbal and Prayer Center for some can sure say a drone aba no ya fa no GDA na fesu nkunimdie mixture na GDA herbal mixture no de ye nie mo so amo ewo malaria, fever, headache, typhoid, and if it's joint pains in yinano, munyusu GDA herbal mixture and nebe bamu ye pa. Isane se dra FDA for ajatum and into nom se o san ho yare arthritis and afi so dem boss in echi ya ho ebeto ye pa. Enkolom die herbal mixture no so no wa menstrual cramps and menstrual irregularities, most of more stomach pain, ulcer, eboa amayi pain ni nyina efi honom mamo eno nkunimdie herbal mixture eno no wonye bi na woto na wonom a obobɔ no guna bibia betumi akoyi ama o pe GDA na fetu nkunimdie herbal mixture ni bi atopare a yenkɔ Wedam pharmacy wa Shama na Ekus pharmacy wa Shama na Veto Repatch Venture o kanshi Hallow herbal o kanshi Angel herbal o kanshi na Veto Kings Walk herbal o kanshi Madina suhum o kanshi ni suhum Madina sorry na Veto suhum Tony K herbal na Veto Kaswa House of Drugs JB pharmacy and all herbal shops ewo omemu handum nyina 0558 639865 0558 639865 onsa ebeka kwekwesedu and herbal prayer center no onsa ebeka bi ewo omemu ha nyina me wo bi akwa babiom eba Kessben 92.9 on radio and also Kessben TV on your digital channel satellite channel no onsa ebeka Kessben TV and I so on Facebook Kessben TV on Facebook again Kessben 92.9 midin your man son for Kojo Preko Dankwah matana state to 940 and I'm doing me nyina bro for text messages na face so or WhatsApp messages ni nyina bra making kan ni nyina amount me kwa homa no so na makodi enkomo mkwa kodi migidi ye se me boss so me bo DSTV so na bo Go TV so ho nyina no Kessben ye wo honom DSTV 364 channel no and Go TV channel 121 but in some Brenano and APA coming out of the accountability series na Koswono. It was the 10 of Urasam George. I don't know minister or that communication. I don't know. Okudin komo with the issue of DSTV and the tariffs and I said charge no more edema yinano. Yendi hon komo me kwa humano so na mene honorable Matthew Nyendam or your ranking member or your ranking information and communication committee and as also MP for Pandai menono ending komo emphasis say because nim so wate and I'm sure say the hon komo no ye ba be die no ye benya solution no and am face statement efi ora Sam George Hoba en nyina de be di nyina ho enkomo ne honorable Maakye bibia bokode
na me adomo kwajo musumo ye
Erade adom yeso ye hu ye pa member parliament member besraw
oh one man tem we are my house ki apon ofe na obeba he ya brantem
Matthias ye matekasa na mu komo bada ben
ye fe October wo nyame adoma se bibia nsi a
oh okay
woni se parliament de en sheda ni sada se wo mu a BBC o metimi afreye
oh okay
ba normal calendar ni de ye fe nyame adoma October na ya ba beto adwuma so
okay nice one yeah that's it now we mami bisa first off what DSTV
oh yes no DSTV
what the no boso mutu ahin
the every
Kessben 92.0
omo de every say obi o wa you should compact this we should use we maybe they know it's almost 500 or say 560
I think it's 570 it means that we use compact plus
and then me use
okay and then now we use and now we use
and I use
that's what I use okay all right yeah the radio say so I'm sure say then this comedy a friend is a discussion will be of very very important to you very well so month on month you paying 570 just like any ordinary Ghanaian who also wants to have access to these kind of channels and so and all that me pacho we minority and as I ranking information and communication Ghana for you no you use DSTV no I'm sure you've heard all the discussions I think yesterday I saw the press statement coming from DSTV insisting that they will still want to hold on minister says Monteso almost 30% na yenka the akano what's your take from minority side and then your good self
well I mean chair Kessben atifo na machi awonso me gidi say enra anwumre issue a press statement on this particular subject matter
nice
na ye can say ohwe pricing of DSTV or man yimu a yene minister eya adwen yene timamofo no ya adwen say ohwe as compared to other countries say Nigeria, Angola and other ones na omomo price no a bit lower than yen ye no. So it is a good call say you best DSTV for say omo hwe na at least omo ntimenti DSTV born so emaye na ye nyina yetimi subscribe to DSTV. It is a good call. Any day any minister ne eya adwen papa. But on the other side now, yes, so yes, you say, Sabi, automate now or no the ama DSTV for no. Yes, you have DSTV for no side. A idea, SE na anka yetrase. Na yefane a lasting solution to the problem. In a sense that DSTV no ababe a household thing. Obia na so dodo na ehwe DSTV. Ghana fonso wa bebre no omonsa ko because of DSTV adwuma omoye den omoye ena DSTV on kasa anko no so no me sure so omoso omafa nkrofo a omoye Ghana fo a onso omoye sa adwuma yi nti no ye nyina as oman no any multi choice for no as a committee of parliament yen yo oversight ana ye hwe ministry na adwuma no so any communication na adwuma no so no yes we should have a round table because media won no solution bi anya den emreye we become it doesn't bring solution to this particular problem until we are calling on the committee chairman say on ebeya on free meeting of the select committee yenfre multi choice yenfre NCA has the sole responsibility to protect consumers in this country. And you know, share your statement now, your statement. They are supposed to protect us. And you almost emblem, na ministers emblem, na yen na yan trase. Yahu the catalog of issues now, and our reasons now DSTV so edi abano. Na yen na yan trase. This is what government can do to help. This is what we can also do to help because ultimately, no, yen interest in say prices in bed a beba form. Me sure say minister no, e be ne de say or issue fiat say DSTV yagumo adwuma. No, the consequences of DSTV egu ewo no, they are also there, and that's not what we all are looking for. Nti concern say we should have a roundtable discussion, go into the merits of the issue, and then at the end of the day, no, me sure say prices now yen nyina we say beba form no, beba form. But yen nyina take entrenched positions. Now ye issue ultimatum. Now we so ha no fight here. At the end of the day, astronomy no ekwan say sabio and you run na dey and ebre. So that is our call for now to both the multi choice people, the minister, and then to the committee.
I have read some articles coming from Unia Bema Franklin Kojo talking about DSTV issues now. And also shares the same view with you that there's public brawl between the multi-choice and Honorable Sam George and the ministry. I think that we should have a structured meeting. But then again, he raises some few points within the article now, or Troy, and one of them has to do with that semi-monopoly in the system that is really positioning DSTV the way they are positioning. Of course, Sanka Yenya you break that monopoly where we allow other services to also get into the space. Ebetimi amasa or how in Tawantawe na tesomento so and all those things no competition would have just reduced these things. Do you share the same view?
Oh yes, sir. That be we are all talking about the private sector led economy. The private sector is the engine of growth. And if you study electoral economics, obviously, so be monopoly there. You should know that because always have monopoly, he also want to exploit it. But at the end of the day, it is an open market for everybody. Go TV for other service providers also. But I think that at the end of the day, it is about the branding and then how you position yourself in the markets. It is true, just like he has said. Sir, at the end of the day, this war is also giving people some ideas. If you are not busy, take advantage of this situation. Market provided the services that maybe DSC is providing. At the end of the day, if there is pure competition in the market, prices will obviously come down. But for now, no, we are talking about DSTV. So, we need to sit down and talk. After talking and getting solution to this problem, for the market is open to everybody. But one to me for sure, say he should come and invest in a market that he's not interested in. You can't also do that. On those accounts. But let's leave the market open. Many also say DSTV to have stopped somebody from coming to Ghana to operate. I don't think so. I think that it is about individual taking advantage of the market, taking advantage of the situation, and at the end, they can also zoom in and make profit for themselves, make market for themselves. And all this in Ghana is an open market to everybody. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, because for multi-choice, I think they've been here almost about 30 years and beyond now. And you look as if competition will be stronger. It would have come. I mean, you did mention GoTV. GoTV is a subset of multi-choice or more anyway. So it gives him. But I mean, I don't know whether the issue where we want to see a meeting or invitation from your committee. I mean, in terms of sitting down to see a solution.
Oh, I know the preset although you will break there. But after Parliament, committee work continues. We Parliament there officially plenary, but at the end of the day, we committee is operating. Parliament committees will be sitting. Some will be going out here and then they be a friend within the shortest possible time. Now, how to see the way forward for this particular problem.
We're on the lighter side. Obi Bisa say, is it by force to watch DSTV?
That is another. It is not by force, but obviously, it has become a household thing. So people that are Ghanaians now, people are earning from DSTV. People too have become so attached to DSTV.
Yeah,
it is not. It is a luxury because it is a matter of choice. That one, it is true. But we need to also make sure at the end of the day, every single Ghanaian is protected. Every single Ghanaian is heard. At the end of the day, if Multi TV decided say, the minister doesn't even need to close them down because it is a matter of choice. That somebody can make it. And the Multi TV, the market, they cover 1,000 cities. If you can afford, you subscribe. If you cannot afford, you leave it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But you cannot also leave the consumers for an individual to also exploit the consumers. That is why we have regulators. So if the regulators are there, they also need to check. There should be checks and balances in this particular area too. That's why it is a free market. But there should be checks. At the end of the day, there should be checks. There won't be the need for NCA. But at the end of the day, we all have to protect the consumers.
Yeshwanim say bibi sabi timi esi na ma yenum so subscribers no so no ye hu ebeto yesa ne say like you rightly said it has become a home thing, and therefore obi abehwe nkwala na hwe mo cartoons. People want to watch their super sports and all the sports that they want to watch. I mean, I can imagine a number of times a year bomb match obi are glued to DSTV to watch super sports and all those things.
Especially America cry best started friends the Premier League.
Yeah,
everybody is on it.
15th years in the chassis here.
And I make actually gidi pa prices no and the bomb price and that's what we should be fighting. That's what we should be fighting for.
No, gidi then there's a moon share before 15 for yesterday more.
Nyame adom ye me so say be share because me Liverpool say o mo gina mo nan so pa me prefer ye better maintain ye title na ya gino. So I cannot afford to lose out there. It's not possible.
And I'm so Arsenal you hear him say so bit my idea send there.
Yeah, mama. We am initially mo be here mo ho kwa we no na fe mo atof.
Enye this time you be shock him. You be shock him.
Ayo, ye bon fire mo.
Ala wo me da say Eradi show.
Me da say.
All right. Yene honorable Nyendam Matthew and the no 18 Common Ranking Information and Communication Committee Parliament or something MP for Pandai and yene no 18 Common Fire DSTV in Common Air Cost one over 30 years they've been with us and I feel so a moon sema ba cost na yeah dream hono obi tua 570 compact plus month on month. Nigeria for sorry wakane de yete so emomo even though mo numbers ne sin ye de then so no yete so emomo call even parliament for them to really deal with it and all that and no come on any you know yeah ora Matthew ashe boss he prays that between now and before Mbekokra finally cry na Mbekokra be san from no they would love to invite a minister in afa so a DSTV for multi choice for na omunyo mu edi nkomo na afa yenhwe de eko menko line 2 knows one right okay all right so the issues when it comes to a MPA ehun komo eni ababedi mebo MPA pe no hu say petrol hun komo ena me babedi esisi ano now ehun sama mabe nkomo mabedi no enema mienu efa sikasem when it comes to MPA and I feel so almost regulatory ensem a ekokoso wo ho no two major issues are ya babedi hun komo but my person wo hwe video bi wo so wutie mo 92.9 person wutie Ben Insia, Executive Director, okay, Center for Environmental Management. You know, Miko Zoom. Na mineno edin komo afa issues bia na so you know a resource transparency and reform in MPA's fund management. Decoupling roles for accountability. Inti mamene ra Ben endi enkomo na fe yen share the echo ene the eba on Zoom na fe yendi esan komo no ora Ben bibia boko de. Hello, Ben. So, me watching about Kessben match so.
Yeah, me Kojo, me ton kapa.
Nice. Okay, me ton kapa. Yeah, that's say only BD and Komo. Now, I have seen your press release. You know, the issues that you've raised in National Petroleum Authority for home. Now, there are two major things that I've seen in the thing. I'm a person who bubumu emayepa. You're telling us to say. National Petroleum Authority dual responsibilities. One has to do with regulating the petroleum sector, and then the other one has to do with managing critical funds. Let's look at these two. If indeed Rano share MPA said they should do these two jobs, why is your association and Juma Kuno feel say we should decouple it in accountability and face of fairness ebebem boyen komo
that's minia no credit say we article 691 establish MPA in 2005 now sa act no money jumadi eni emienu ba kone say obe regulate industry no based on various standards and procedures in the industry. Now making sure say most of the petroleum service providers are very compliant to industry best practices, and these practices are established by the Act. Now we also sign Act from Section 66 also talks about managing a fund, and especially at that time they were Unified Petroleum Price Fund. And this Unified Petroleum Price Fund, a funder yede efa product no from depot ediba filling station and at the entia and abota entia this fund by and say quantity no na 2005 no na isu say union mo amantifi mantem most of the northern regions no na say union mi ye kase ye jam market no ama market na set transport cost product be free address no na ne widen. And this is idea ye may more southern part no into prices man and what you call cost sharing. And because of the distance from Accra Plains Depot and I say from Accra Plains Depot no closer to any of the filling stations in Accra no. What the cost of transporting the product from Accra Plains Depot to and any of the tank farms and storage facilities no to filling station nebo comparatively cheaper compared to sell transport to product from Accra to Tamale and Accra to Wa. So you bet set the price no fixed petrol board so nemu you setting a fixer yenu anoma mo Accra no ebe tua yenu anu siremfo no bi can be amom so that abribia no fango bon be pay across the country. Until the Unified Petroleum Price Fund by But you observe say Unified Petroleum Price Fund by since 2005, NPA has never disclosed how these funds have been utilized, especially to the public, because these are public funds anyway. Especially minimum etia krahan yeni ETS kano edi ama yenu anmo muslim. Na si ETS kadi ama yenu anmo muslima. Adentina se uji diska ni free meme hwa. Un disclose send you utilize this kano. In all the acts I establish Ukruma, if you take the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 815, I amended to I think 873 or so. Okay, act now account how we mobilize these revenues and how we utilize the revenues, and who are the beneficiaries of the utilization of those revenues. Offer energy sector levy account the 899. Offer account Sikana Yajijeno and how we utilize these monies. But over NPR, account only the collection. But in terms of accountability, A is zero. They don't account to us over the years. Since 2005, MP has never accounted this money to the Ghanaian, and they've never disclosed how they've utilized excess funds and as a surplus income are free from these funds. Now, two, disclose fund the interest and so no. Yes, I will say fund no Emma MPA in the Juma year, because one, they are the managers of this fund. They are the same time administrators of this fund, and the same time the supervisors of the administration of this fund. In this way, nipa baako na uskano esho na also na also administers kana a generative conflict of interest, and Emma consumer no enya the optimal benefit from say OTS fund. The entire maker say ne ohe industry no more fuel diversion increasing. Fuel diversion is obi alodi product no so person di stream. Now alodi product no so di stream product no compartments no be 54,000 metric tons 54,000 liters 54,000 liters, which is the master track no olodi so stream no akọ discharge be miensa na 9 e wa kra no the compartment ba akọ e di akọ stream o di stream no abeji stream sika as UPPF. A basana abribiano affecti Ghana ability to mobilize revenue, because atro adults who industry. That is one. Now two, in terms of diversion, no, obisu correct me lodu NAFTA. And as NAFTA no adia the blended near generating other fuel products, or even ya blended their generated premix, the engine oil come on their premix fuel. Sa NAFTA ye lodu free atwabo to nkwane wo se o blended product yokruma nemu because of the MP and yakudi sikano, because what sikano eno money this unity no. The issue of NAFTA diversion is on the increase in Ghana. Among for the NAFTA no ton eguye kamu as engine oil, as petrol, say cars okruma. We if you are intina na ya Minister of Finance Emma ye tax exemptions every marine gas oil so. MP adwuma san compare ensure say marine gas oil no is for marine purposes, bigger trawlers no. Na so still na marine gas oil no eba industry no as auto gas oil, which is AGO, and as a diesel. Eba industry no as auto gas oil because of say density variations, any other chemical variations or marine gas ni auto gas ni mutini ye di auto gas mo for a longer time it means sell car. And most of your cars I say okrumano is because of some of these diversions are eba system no. Meaning we in free wa yes I say scano surplus I was aka chire yensi the udi surplus na bepem ne won chire say the udi surplus no. And because of say surpluses in the endorse no, it entices some of the CEOs of mobile between any the to be corrupt, because these are not expected. And as you also bana eba so abribia na ema fango boyedin na fango boyedin no a also own account own disclose the utilization no dey na beba eba ho adi na obedi. So most of these guys take other advantages or opportunities to embezzle these funds, because at the end of the day no, they don't disclose these funds to anybody. Only omudi nkoma say fans no fans anka by law no it should not go to national security. Funds anka by law, it is not meant for the presidency. Any presidency sika. But when you mudin koma, sika menu mi no tuano. You see ya TB at the akoma president. Ya TB at the akoma national security. Why should the petroleum consumer bear the cost of national security operations? Say I'm buying any sika or the national security. I didn't know many also meet. Why should the petroleum consumer bear the operations of the presidency? Say presidency nisika, I didn't know also meet. And now because of the presidency and the national security, no, the UPPF is overpriced. You 90 pesos per liter. It's just transport cost. Ya kachiri mianum GPRT for so munti o machine to yaboso. Ya kachiri mianum committed for so munti o machine to yaboso. Adentina the transport cost of petroleum products. MP and TISO are still orders 90 pesos per liter, even though price of the product is what is because yes, they make a lot of revenue out of this. Some of these are revenue, no, you who send you utilize this particular revenue. Now, we any free we UPP free, there are other funds. I have back with a friend no cylinder recirculation margin, and as a cylinder investment and bottling margin. In April 2024, and now MP Bekachre and say on person more implemented cylinder recirculation model. Now, cylinder recirculation model was $80 per metric to help MPA and the government increase accessibility or penetration of LPG by 2030. Meaning, $80 per metric key, Busumi Bian $80 per metric key, realize in excess of $2 million. They can't dollars so. So $2 million since April. Product offered through the cylinder recirculation modular is less than 1% of total products consumed. So many could do. MP to mean disclosure you say. So even if the 2 million we allocate 1% at the mass cylinder investment, allocate maybe in fact 50% at the mass cylinder investment. Now allocate 50% of the 1% now or move through the process. Emma, if anything, you are bottleless now, and as a bottle invest bottle products now. Sika yedi mo out of the 2 million no, is not even up to $100,000 per month. Nemom since April 2024, MPA has never disclosed Sika Umaji free away and how they've utilized this particular money. Omun disclosing Chirobia. And the cylinder recirculation model no, is still at its lowest stage because of poor implementation. Oman implementing the Omu focus ni say Sika Umaji free and hono any hiomo and not the implementation. As at May 2025, out of 28 million kilograms of products they consume only 131,000 and they pass it through the cylinder recirculation model. So MPA is overbilling us for a model that is poorly implemented, and I think that is also bad. And because of these things, no, Sikana could go more. Now, lastly, what we call the primary distribution margin, and also another fund. So I fund we a interdepot fund. Dema boss to say yen kati product no. Enfan free boss depot e wa Accra, enfan ko bi Atamale, enfan ko Bupe, anase bi enfan ko Kumasi, and enfan ko Bolga. Na menia, ohwe boss ni product boss e lodu okrum ha nyina na less than 7%, especially product that goes through the zonalization, less than 7%. Almost 93% of the products private BDCs and they call hinterlands, and these private BDCs pay through the Unified Petroleum Price Fund. Sasika we aminium MP AJ ama boss to you, and also realizing in excess of 900 million to almost 1.3 billion Ghana cedis a year. Sasika we MP AJ free and home. They've never accounted for how the surplus is being managed, how they've utilized the surplus over the years, or more accounting disclosing to Robia. Inti ye can say because of say Sikana kodosu MP na akuku omoso prim nintino omo dwumadi e wo so mo ensure say product in the industry no of quality products at OMCs no mo filling stations no serve the right quantity MP sa dwuma no ontumi nye into be last year there were a lot of issues with respect to product quantity. People visited filling stations no mo ka say product serve o me deliver mo no product no yen deliver more the right quantity. And I think even Kessben showed some of the videos and no more complaining. In recent times, there are people who are alleging that most of the products or motor free, some of the OMCs no last quality. And the lack of quality no is because MPA ever said the product quality ni quantity achine e money sika wo so nya because ni juma die wodi no e man sika mmoroso ana amfa so bia any kwan se onya na sa amfa so no so no onhuni hu kwan se obe disclose achire obia oni hu kwan se obe account achire public no. And because of that no they renege on the critical responsibility and as issues I also moye na ma yes industry no a year of quality product and serve the right quantity product. Na menya we recently kura na because of bad products e binu nya etimi ton but industry no supervised by some workers at MPA nintino we ye industry mo ne there's bad competition in the industry no obi ton the same product obi to me ton by 18 Ghana cedis the same product obi ton 10 Ghana cedis ubi say why that huge variation. MPA to me knew one the entire huge variation war, but the huge variation is there because some of the OMCs no any certain cheap products on the market. Some of them intentionally have not even paid some of the margins, net taxes, net products, and MPA knows them. I didn't know many no Kojo ye tia say yenfa tax into product na bind the to so many no tia. Yes, yenfa margin to so many no tia. Na OMC bi aji sa margin atena so edi ye the business yi nemum MPA ubisa ne say unless that those OMC kramaw na won say ye magana fo nyina enya say motor products from this OMC so MPA si on fam but me no me no so MPA even abet and support some of these OMCs now o maji me no me sika o fam ma buy no or support them in not declaring the right revenues they are expected to declare to government and also not paying the right revenues also government. And these are some of the issues I raise. But fortunately, you raise to the Minister of Finance. And the Minister of Finance has assured us that ye kasana ye kase ye decouple funds no. It was a decouple funds because MPA on a bank. MPA cannot be bank. Now how much did we inject in NIB? Yes, 2 billion. But the surplus income by MPA no sometimes it will grow 4 billion, and this 4 billion MPA has never accounted. Since a minimum has never accounted how they've utilized this 4 billion, has never accounted how they've utilized the primary distribution margin surpluses, have never disclosed how they utilize UPS surpluses, have never disclosed how they've utilized cylinder recirculation margin surpluses. They won't disclose it. And I think that indiscipline no, on their part no, is something that you can say is can from where na the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Energy sa surpluses no you bit me the other priority projects downstream because why are we talking about Lakan? We are talking about Lakan because your mooring system one, but some of these surpluses could have been used to develop a mooring system a bit mabwa ama free flow or discharge of products onto the Ghanaian petroleum downstream. Ne okoto area wa omokwa akwan nyina sei basa surpluses yanke bitimi ade ayeto akwan eni sa tema enclave na kwan ama omko load products no omo benefit from some of this nti ye can say surplus no kogu MP wa because of say so no it entices them to be corrupt and sa enticement no ene ye say omunyi from honan from Minister of Finance so that these surpluses could be used for priority projects and ebeboa menu in the petroleum downstream.
Okay, so Ben, I have one or two questions with that me pay clarity on. One has to do with the perception. I think it will still be a perception because we still don't have the fact that if they still do and as dual responsibility now, corruption really exists within that particular friend is saying now you did mention right now say anka wunya ya anka yemfama Ministry of Finance and as energy ministry wouldn't it also come as the same corruption argument now more na again say uka say omo enye your friend is saying fans the surplus na they should be using it for some of these things but one yan into say omo yusu say presidency ni other ones in any case national security and all Are these agencies not to raise money for government expenditure and government institutions to also have some to also run an
Okay, so here some of the funds now as established by the act, STT, how the funds should be utilized, the purpose of these funds, and none of them should say this can be called presidency. Any presidency sika, a menu sika na yetu say informa tanker owners, any tanker drivers, and these tanker owners and tanker drivers, some of especially the tanker drivers, they are the least paid. Meaning, I can't say. Me can't send the tanker drivers biji okroma ubesu. Tanker drivers or mokati this highly inflammable product, high risk product. Now a month, a biji 1,007, a biji 1,005. Now mean ya Uber driver cry jisen. Uber driver or jisen, a biji 1,005, 1,007. A b no any insurance, whether medical insurance, whether social security, a b maybe. A b any benefit. So why should many say ye sika, say ye improve the welfare of the tanker driver, improve the investment, and also that the tanker owner to be able to recoup their investment. Now yati says can say the national security, and I say the co-presidency. It is wrong. It is against MRA. Right? We in Friwa now Ubisa say the other side know whether they will not be corrupt. You see. One good thing about the Ministry of Finance is that they are legal structures, they are administrative structures. Administrative structures, Emma yet me how these funds have been utilized, right? But say for example, Ministry of Finance, the revenues are onya, the expenditure onya. At the end of every budget year, let's say the expenses now let's say the revenue which means line by line items how revenues have been utilized, and periodically even our debt sustainability framework and I said the public debt records the Minister of Finance makes sure that also around and how every revenue is utilized. The American say sikano MPA doesn't disclose the surpluses. And let me give you one example. I make us a corruption in 2022. Kessben, I raised this issue on Kessben TV. Me raising this particular issue on Kessben TV. The then MPA, FRA meeting, stakeholders engagement, because it became an issue in Accra. Offer stakeholder engagement, in 2022, I think the engagement was held in 2023 or maybe 2024 September or June thereabout. FRA meeting, in 2022 they made a surplus of 320 million Ghana cedis from the UPPF. Baudim Arawusame Auditor General report. Auditor General report and say in 2022 we made a deficit of 131 million Ghana cedis. Adia Obi catcher and say you make a surplus of 320 million in 2022. No, Auditor General catcher and say you make a deficit of 131 million in the same year. So what they even present to us as industry stakeholders, Minia Bembuachi Woho, Minia Kofi Bentel Woho from Imani, Minia Dankanamo Woho from Kope, and also Memi Woho from Semseno, or more present Mayeno is different from what they even gave the auditors. So information inconsistency from this particular organization. And Madika Kase until say ye be and the Obika Sabia ye sa emergency and as a fund management activities if you affect your revenues, it will never affect their revenues because MPA ni fees and charges in Kwanumia will be able to take care of them 10 times. Omu fees and charges from the industry no. A bit me had taking care of them 10 times. I'm a big cracker, right? But they take these monies and they don't explain how they even expend it, but okay, SIGA report almost surpluses. They even tell us they make surpluses less than 150 million Ghana cedis. But okay, SIGA corner surplus was a MPA making should be in excess of 200 million Ghana cedis.
Robin, my members asked us with two questions. One, will some want to go to court if indeed say MPA is not doing what they are supposed to do? Nanka rather channeling your issues to finance minister to check, and I'm on court na yen show mo say okay, more two responsibilities to do. Now declare the funds and let us know what gets into the fund and how you utilize it, rather than maybe saying say yen decouple. Is it not going to take that too many papers back and forth to say I feel no mabeshe be contractor airline nema, but rather your associate your group will want to ensure say ye court ni asomo say indeed as I say Emrana say mom share how you utilize it yenya ne samum.
I think there will be a legal process no me den be ya drink akra, but the entire same say you hold this particular position is a by person amend the MPA Act, the 691. Now amendment no yahu say aban still na pese oja sikano edimomo, and they have their own other reasons. I think the previous government started amending the act, but montimi anwi, and the bill no that's what drafting stage. And I think same say any other civil society organizations ama your position clear to the Minister of Energy on how we want these funds to be utilized and who should manage these particular funds. And yet the NSA beyond court process, which will also take a longer time, and we know how our justice system sometimes is. Yet the NSA yebema Minister of Finance and I think Madika say yema Minister of Finance some of these things because Obekomokrano now Minister of Finance or Minister of Energy is not even aware of some of these monies but yema ni who what he say he will take an action and ensure that we do that decoupling. Dr. Konradonko, I think he also supports this particular argument. Says Konradonko is an experience since 1993, was even working at Bost. He's an experienced petroleum downstream person. Also, any argument say Sikana Kohono Dawson. But on only position is a Yemaskanka name surplus nebekano, Yemfanko Minister of Finance. Yet the can say Sikana Kohwa Ekawa. It entices them to be corrupt. So beyond legal process, say beko court, akosiki say yem usus kano enfanye die wose die na yem mom declare the revenues no. Kwadwo die kan say wose Minister of Finance na edi couple because even 1,000 years kwadwo 1,000 years kwa na the enemy say still no omo end disclose nchire. They will have excuses be as excuses no emma omo disclose this particular scanner MIN. Say and it also fits into the new bill or Modebano. The new bill no must ensure that MPA does not manage the funds because excessive management of some of these funds, like becoming a financial institution, Emma the right quality product on the market, Emma the right quantity. I also almost serve at the filling station. It leads to unhealthy competition in the market as we observe today. And then most of the OMCs are closing down. Lead to some OMCs not paying these margins, and then if you know be someone, there are OMCs who have not paid UPPF, even government OMCs grant or UPPF since January, and no one is not even telling Ghanaians why these people have taken money from us and they are not paying. Say a Minister of Finance there or no be declare because only interest or be declare or more modi enka or declare more modi enka. So that's our purpose. We may not go to court so that court process will keep long dragging. The process they say we have told the finance minister this week we are likely going to add a petition to him because he spoke to us and accepted in principle. But before the petition no one say near break say sad decoupling it must happen because I am happy now ability to certain indiscipline in the petroleum downstream as we've observed.
Because me know we crap, but I'm still worried about this one because you've mentioned now 3 institutions in the mix. One has to do with Munyaya and Kefanko Ministry of Finance. When we declare, they will tell us everything what is really happening. We've mentioned Energy Ministry. I mean, all these people, all these institutions still works with MPA. So it's finance, energy, and then the MPA. How are we so sure that even if Granted that finance will always want to tell you and declare what is even there. You just said that in the same year, one declared to you that you are a profit. That same year, the same government comes with the report and tell you we have a deficit. So I am looking at how we can believe these institutions you even want to, in their board, take this thing to them, say, I'm a little bit worried on that. Which one clarity can see here?
Okay, with clarity, I think that yes, I think worry should not be something I will say about him, because I've stated the reasons why I was say finance. Finance periodically declares all revenue sources, all income streams. Finance based on their structure, and even Petroleum Revenue Management Act, account performance of revenues and how they've utilized them. And finance, a very open or pretty open door policy, and this open door policy, allows us to know how we've mobilized or how much we've mobilized from a lot of revenue streams. Until finance will be able to manage these funds. That is one. Two, finance or other priority projects are some of these surpluses could be diverted or diversified into making sure that all the infrastructure needed in the petroleum downstream is put to use. And as these monies are redirected to put in areas a bit to develop the infrastructure. Because Dientina Kojo Tema enclave yenyo because our boundaries is carnival. But these monies were sitting at MPA. I didn't think I surplus income maybe ankoye Tema enclave kwine. Okotoa ne untimi fa okakran fa kwine enye kradia several times last year. Last year most tanker drivers sit down strike because of toll kwine enye. But these surplus incomes were at MPA. But sanke of finance at least your finance finance bit was okay. Say your surplus income be over. You redirecting fanye toll kwine na emma tanker owners and as a tanker drivers or movement from toll and end of the depots a bit me abwa amomatimadi or mujumaye. Inti we think that finance is more accountable. Finance is more transparent compared to say Scanobel MPA. And finance has a lot of priority projects. As our priority projects, obi to me edisika we akodi. MPA is not a company and as an authority or engage in priority projects. Only obia or building infrastructure. Finance and a building infrastructure. This is a finance and a building infrastructure. I didn't think scano young fan kono na se bika obi to me their building infrastructure. Or building infrastructure so na o disclose size kai amayehu dia aka. Nti ye dia kasa na simple. Say you may have ambiguity, you may have questions to say scano enkoswa MPA, but we think that from 2005 size kai bi echo MPA MPA has never disclosed how these monies have these incomes have performed or funds have performed and how they've utilized the funds over the years. And we think that the time has come for us to decouple. And also fuse into the new bill na ebano say new bill na ebano how the composition of the structure of the fund management. Because I think if you look at it carefully, even though we say it was eco finance, sign in, for example, Samson's position is that for you, the new fund management committee should be made up of faith-based organizations, should be made up of petroleum consumers, whether GPRTU, whether COPEC, whether GRTCs, whether progressive. They are the petroleum consumers, whether private petroleum consumers. They should be part of the new fund management because they are musical. The second part is that we're also calling on civil society because how this money are performing and how are utilizing, are being utilized. Until also civil society so can the new fund management committee. Until yen first canon question finance minister say na enche na se kwa. Ye can say this Kojo Preko finance minister say the new constitution and I say the new fund management committee should be made up of various stakeholders or utilizing fuel or chroma so that you make it up all the various stakeholders including tanker owners union, coordinators of OMCs, GPRTU4 who are mostly predominantly consumers of petroleum products, COPEC who is maybe a civil society in that particular regard. Young constitute committee, you never become one. You never say, Isika e piano, you never value for money. Isika e piano, ye diadepa. Isika e piano, surplus, ye the generating certain infrastructure on the stream. A big boy in Nama, ye petroleum downstream, abe crabeshe.
Raben, you better see. Bebre say oni Edin Komora Benjamin Insian, Executive Director Emma, Center for Environment Management and Sustainability, and Yomo Edin Komono. Share the air cost when it comes to National Petroleum Authority. Mo ensema na air cost. So quick one and sana meko the next issue. So Eric Boedi patriotic voice Bechimo saying, I'm still pleading with the MPP leadership and party followers. Let's have a clean, respectful campaign, because after the primaries, we need to come together as one people and work towards reclaiming power. Because if we all come together as one, MPP will come stronger in 2028. Regards to Adrian John Boyd or Batampa Mibisawa Kumsen and Afeso Mr. Ose Collins, Executive Director, and must save our environment foundation. And then this one coming to us from OPK Voices. Or say regards to Honorable Amankwai Jare Isaac in Kami MPP Bono and I feel so Honorable Catherine Afiko say I agree with the minority MPs blasting NDC over cocoa farmers' neglect because they promised them 6,000 and 7,000 a bag of cocoa. Now producer priced back excuses bebre, and now the world market price of cocoa is even higher than Nanado Dr. Baumia in the MPP government era. So they deceive cocoa farmers for power, and the insecurity in Mahama and the NDC government is unprecedented, attacking journalists, Ghanaians, etc. So we should resist this oppressor's rule by voting for the MPP in 2028. Or no so Nedia or the Ebai and on Okan. Good morning, me sure so here from Bantama in the Senate West District. Or say the one who signed the contract and did the procurement processes is not under investigation, but the former board chairman, who together with his board asked management to proceed only if they get PPA approval. Yes, he OSP must account for all the shady deals, and we want to remind them that the elephant never forgets. Also, Nedia or the Ebai, and 40 minutes past the hour of 8 a.m. deɛ ɛkɔ ɛne deɛ ba me boss sɛ nsɛm bebree na epiepie mu esane sɛ nneɛma no yɛhwehwɛ nkrataa mu no when the attorney general ɛkɔ government accountability series no the nsɛm bebree na betu dwa sɛ official sɛ what is really happening with Unibank no ɛsɛ fata sɛ yɛgye mu na emom no de aka no yɛgyegye sɛ sika ne nti no owura Dr. Kwabnadofo and then 7 others ne deɛ idea say you set your free send a bear the akane nyina na ebetumi agege court ne there ebe harding because again it has been in court for almost about how many years 4 years and beyond sika no beje ankoma agege but any se bebre na no na epiepie mu yenya letters yenya documents efi KPMG and after letters efi Oradofo ne office we've seen documents that we have exclusive with us signed by Dr. Dufo himself who is a shareholder and Nyema Omakeka since 2018 I force us same way a chassis no ehun komo any ababidi ene anope na match sure dey call any dey ebe nyina to na fe ye the discussions no ahyehyɛ so Charles McCarthy wo fi anam sa so na Ziga eso atenase na ye di enkomo now mo nim Unibank issues ni nyina no ye di kan ebe catch Ghana man nyina say as we talk right now no the initial amount Unibank any 7 others meka Kwabnadofo and 7 others Eddie on my Ghana no as we stand 5.7 billion sa na reporter ye catcher say a car omo Eddie any 5.7 billion aso ye pa enu ntino esafata say ye kokot na yakoje saa sika we nyina na yede ma oman Ghana nya saa pa dia ebeye bibie wo ho so what it means again is that saa 5.7 billion ye kan ho asemi eno na omugina so eka se saa dia yenje bank no emfi Oradofo ene ne shareholders for nsem esane se mo de sika we nyina mo de saa eka we dia ensem fata se bank no etumi ejina because then oningina so bank no ewoso ne foundation no enye papa so indeed this is the initial amount ye catch yen say bank no at the 5.7 billion and ye nim say bank no car omode aban no but it's interesting when you move on now they are telling us say Unibank assets with government see ye ka say assets are Unibank and Ejapade nko na ewo aban ho a me no wo kase fiti 2018 ebesi sesembre ya na edi sankomo nyina na me di kan ka cho say 5.7 billion and sika omuso omode no apparently ye hwehwe ebo no since December 2017 no na aban nko sika omode out of the so called 5.7 billion no sika na sesa aban etuama Unibank as of that time was about 3.1 billion Ghana cedis and also omutia Unibank. What it means again is that say Empo Crown 5.7 billion no, was the real sikana wo hona padia as they declared the padia. Then it means that sanka aban etia Unibank 3.1 billion na and the bank would have still been alive because out of 5.7 billion that's a bank at the Sakaway 3.1 billion there. What it meant was that the bank was still sustainable. And to me ejina ne naso na aye juma. Again, remember, yenya no memma ne papa no ne ofasifo nyina no were there. Omo juma. So 5.7 billion na wo kan ho asem na wo say na figure no. As we speak, abana mu na de Unibank ka from 2017 3.1 billion na wuntuaka etina wuntua sesika we no how come were you able to declare to tell per KPMG report say bank no enyina ne nanso bank no entimi nye de send the fatent no mo ye very insolvent no yengu no in any case ofa KPMG report now when you look at it omo ye no July 2018 the KPMG report in itself they did not mention any figure that will tell Ghanaians and as a Bank of Ghana say yenam report here nyina echi bank no sika omode anase ka omode ni neme ko ba ye nyina no was this amount. KPMG report did not, any of the report did not mention any figure. So when we arrived at the 5.7 billion, then Aban say okay fine, you be hwehwem ye ko mu no Aban kwa deka 3.1 billion. I'm going to show you that 3.1 billion no, where it is coming from. How Aban etumi gina ne nanso a good bank when indeed one kasa mono what they call it that. Now when you look at the breakdown here, as of the same time, December 2017, government of Ghana guarantee loans was almost about 557 million Ghana cedis. Public institutions loans, make up public institutions are buying institutions in Omajeji loans FE Unibank was amounting to 46 million. Export guarantees or the buying was 114 million. And after the same GOG, Ghana, government of Ghana, mortgage loans on FE Unibank was 9.3 million Ghana cedis. Anyway, there are other things on GGF, for instance, T-bills, treasury bills was about 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. Esla bonds, Esla and the account one same way energy when Esla and papa and all that back to back in Inano. It was the Aban was owing 131 million Ghana cedis. Cash and short-term funds on the Maya was 233 million Ghana cedis, and then unpaid guarantees, IPCs, and for me, it's also another critical area that we need to look at. The IPCs, I mean, I don't quite 1.3 billion Ghana cedis. So, you know, if we give you all the breakdown that comes with assets now buying Unibank, that is the more reason why I told you is that if you check the previous slide, it is almost about 3.1 billion Ghana cedis. So all these ones were owed by Ghana buying when it comes to Unibank. And this is it. Government assets ni nano, them also in our choices here, it amounts to 3.1 billion Ghana cedis, which for me are very huge. Even from that figure now, 5.7 billion now. Omokanwa say Sebi Unibank for a dignity collapse bank. Now listen, about 5.7 billion. Back and forth now figures are changing. Apparently the 5.7 billion case. Am I can't say Unibank at the Sakan into Yengu Bank no. Yes, I call court in yes, the receiver comes back with a revised amount. Now, I shifted from 5.7 billion no abba 2.8 billion by the receiver. The same receiver who Didino and Amabama. The same receiver now, ye name him said Niama Amano Dodu or no, and or call or ye receiver no for it. But in any case, check. Niama Dodu was the one who was handling the KPMG report concerning the Unibank. Right after, make kind of story be actual, and it's in the slides. How come he became the one handling the tenant of Unibank? Now listen. So if in 2024, March 26, 2024, Yakoko ni asamba 5.7 billion no eswate about 2.8 billion. How come? Why adding assessor? Any day ne ko muntia amasa apparently 5.7 na ye di gu orado for any 7 others any ne shareholders for any mo ase no. Why has it changed from 5.7 to 2.8 billion? So what has accounted for the shortfall? What has accounted for the reduction, that huge reduction from there? What has really gone on? In the other slide, I will show you how that thing has happened. Now, even before that, now the current Attorney General, Honorable Dominic Ayeni, right? Now telling us, after the accountability series, the new Attorney General also Ekano 3.3 billion Ghana cedis. Listen, Mabubo figures by the honey. First, made the 5.7 billion and a chassis here. A buying at the Unibank 3.1 billion. You buy no Yako court receive and they say, oh, apparently it's not 5.7 billion. Then momuno 2.8 billion. Now the present government also comes. Also here in the search you know. Also my another figure which is 3.3 billion. So indeed, what the key processes in now, there is something wrong somewhere. The truth is not being told and being cut truth in Cheye. Ghana my yesterday I see a year from 5 to 2.8 down to 3.3 billion. How come? What is really happening? Now, what is really accounting for the 3.3 billion as the new Attorney General, so Ekache? Again. Now, Unibank, at the end of the day, I have in front of me a letter which was addressed to the official administrator KPMG Unibank Ghana Limited, 5th of June 2018. This is the letter. Now, when this letter was sent to a receiver, KPMG first, Amano Dodu, then on an Osha there were certain things that Unibank for can say. The moment I'm reporting about it now, Musimu Gu Bank, almost a montomobo. Yes, let's go into it and let me mamu payment plan. In fact, the law allows the shareholders plus the owner of the bank an open to say okay, yes, mo bank no ebegu no Bank of Ghana say muntu me ngina mo nanso then na mo be pumping sika another te muntu me nya hwede a ye beje bank na fi musam already for ne nkro for say dabida ye ma bank no enko enti be ma mo nhyehyeye it will throw a letter at the command KPMG some na mo yes san hwehwemu no mo da beto enim say ye bank no ye ntumi en sustain dia ye ma reasons nti e betumi sustain. Now listen, I'll say one. Yeah, the 1 billion ever same mid-July 2018. We around 4 and 7 others. Two. Beside the extra 1 billion ever same before September ending in 2018. 3. Almost the 3.7 billion ever in assets. You can say assets a Japadie on physical say dine see school down we and as a property way there. No value no was about 3.7 billion. Yeah, the Becca 1 billion back on the month July. Yeah, the Becca 1 billion back on the month September. Now face yes, Bank of Ghana, any government of Ghana must settle bill of about 1 billion the bank neka. Now check the figures. Mamuni Masano. So what can ASK in our bomwa? How much are you going to get? Now the person is telling you, said, may yes I deal with, and this was June 2018, June 5th, exactly 2018. That same time now, Musumu good bank, Moje bank nefi orado phone shareholders in 7. That was the same time they were telling you, say, we will supply you or we will provide these 4 things. But the 4th one was the fact that our buying almost 1 billion Ghana cedis. Our bank will be sustained. Yes, so shareholders, you say, yeah, they seek 1 billion every same mid-July. You better the same before September ending. Now, first, you are providing assets a Japadian worth 3.7 billion. Now, yeah, the account, okay, can say what it meant was that if they responded to the letter signed by Dr. Dufour, Anka Bank will call Unibank, Anka Besa sustaining because then reasons in Tiamomayano, we should have given them that space, that time, to say sampa ombetimenya sanyema weina ama abayana. So indeed, Unibank offered from June 5th, 2018, offered say yebe sanyema weina. But the question arises: did Omaino, then the MPP government in power, then the finance minister, then Bank of Ghana boss, did they, and I said KPMG, did they respond to ASIDWANA? Our investigation tells us to say on the 3rd of August, around that time, which I'll show you another slide, on the 3rd of August, Oradufo Enya replied from July. Our show ASI Kratawe, July 5th, sorry, June to August. Now Onya reply from KPMG. Now watch this. Amount ye fee revised on say me catch us 5.7 billion. Me san catch us say atiso bebe 2.1 or so billion. Say see omo ye in sakraye no the tini apparently 2.1 billion almost a fictitious claim just say dia na it doesn't exist dia na eni ho but it when and 2.1 no e kan ho koye 5.7 billion na ye di eje bank ni fi ora do fon sem no. How come? Who put this 2.1 billion in the document to prove that Sebi Unibank Edeka and for that matter see a collapse no? Why NAS idea no? We'll get to know. Then another one, 300 million. And also a separate legal pursuit. I no crown say ye can't fictitious anyway ya. Ye ba be can almost about 300 million na. Sebi na also another issue and so the amount na yet shall was say eswati no. Some of these things were in there. Now man sasikano escalating. How come? Why NAS idea no? And indeed, it is something we really need to look at. Now, let's move to the other slides. Now, share the echo. Interestingly, there's another document that was written by Yenia Bema and then Deputy Attorney General Ora Godfred or Yebo Adame. Now, previously, Obeye friend say penyin nankasa meka Attorney General nankasa. Now last week me sure say mo kenkan the articles ni bi. I read it and better na catch us say what try resist certain questions. I felt to say anka ono kwan kedi so okasa bi enkedi so ode ne ho kra begigim kra bisa Ora Dominic ni questions kra about this thing because na ono akasa bu no na what show in Kata Koma Ora Ken Oforiatta then Honorable Minister Ministry of Finance na what show in Kata Akomano were raising serious points, serious issues within a document in a crime and we are not doing it without proving to you, and that's why I'm showing you the document that we have with the logo and everything. Now watch this. Godfred Odame prelim, yakasa prelim or share a document na KPMG for no de buy no. The initial prelim as Deputy Attorney General no. And that was January 25th, 2019. This is what he said. One, or say, June 2018, Unibank administration notified government of 868 million Ghana cedis owed. Obasanjo said, or cash minister say, Minister then Oforiatta say, me pacho Unibank for administration and notify a buying say abide the omoka 868 million Ghana cedis. Yentua kaya buying entua or catch your minister then Oforiatta may catch your 2. Or say finance ministry then began verification on the 868 million. What it means is that time Ora Godfred Odame catch minister say me hu sadie we ewo document in him. Aban no kra na no aban ka say okay and the Ministry of Finance ka say okay me ba hwehwem say yampa say 868 million Ghana cedis no aban the your friend is saying Unibank for Sasika no mudomo ka na. Now look at the interesting thing here. July 2018 ye kan wasem na ye see ye kwakoye verification to check whether indeed 868 million Ghana cedis was owed by government. 1st of August 2018, Bank of Ghana revokes Unibank licenses and transfer to CBG. How? Check the month. July 2018. We are talking about checking verification of indeed amount Bank of Ghana Unibank say Ghana buying mote onwo kamuntia kana bank ni be sustainable no 868 million no. What finance minister any ministry be catch say mo kwa hwehwem sampa 868 no no kra na say no crap. You have not finished your verification and then you take the license from Unibank on the 1st of August. How? Again, listen, it's very interesting. Rich Beba, the same time now, 1st of August, you revoke Unibank for license, That was the same time and you will CBG. Are you serious? Oh, setting up bank. Is that the process you go through? On the 1st of August, you revoke Unibank. On the same 1st of August, you bring a new bank and you sustain the new bank with another huge money. Listen, August 2nd, and I want CBG starts operating. Okay, we go on 1st August, and we transfer all the properties and the assets in and a new bank called CBG. 2nd August, now CBG are starting operations. How? How do you do that? And these are in the document here. And even Godfather Dami is telling a young minister then, say, I didn't know you know, and your papa. It is wrong. You don't do that. On your verification here, what sorry said, my good bank, you know, about 1 year verification. So if we are doing verification now, what it means is that if indeed 868 million are buying the car, then the collapse of the bank was illegal. And that is not fair. That is not fair. There are too many things in here. You're falling number, but if say any on mine there, just as Maakye said last Friday, I think said the nation should apologize to Dr. Dufo and the shareholders, because if indeed say planet there, then your problem. And this is what we have now. There are a lot of things here that you be komo ene amino ka say you be komo e ofia hanom. We want to really understand how you go bank without doing double checks, verifications and all that. Is that how you go bank? Sa and you go mine. Meaning we crown. Listen. And I will hold over how many people are not yet Juma or a year bank? Some a beer to me and to draw no a month almost school fees. I know some of them are Sebi, say bankers and Yama Omoko estate to estate and whole Yama to survive. All because somebody used pen, somebody refused to do verification, somebody refused, as I dream Bonio say, Dentio, what go a bank for people's home to be shattered. And you think it is fair? You think it is fair? Who brought Ghana? We're going to give employment, and this is what the employment was. 7 minutes past the hour of 9. Maybe here.
Music
on the background coming from the man Charles Kojo Preko the late. Yan twas na fe yan hwe the air called many Kaibu Ventures for being Kaibu group of companies. Why do I always say ventures? So when they Kaibu group of companies you know mo ending common na fe yambra na yembe to adwumadi so Charles Maakye ofia na fe so ora na na friend Ponzi guy ofia hanom ye de nyina be bro, which is brought to you by Doc Chako. From Ziggy Take down to discussions in we brought to you by Doc Chako inti ebedi ni nyina ho enkomo but oba atenase na face so mini abema so atenase ni nkomo enfa ye Kaibu group of companies so ndo mo my boss bibia boko there nice the radias oba bibia e fine weekend e ko ye
kakra
wa ko ye ni nkomo Kaibu den na mo my
I say now we need so the Kaibu's Ventures.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
nice. So I'm the meeting here.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
then that's fine.
sure,
That's fine.
yeah.
That's fine. Yanko ye name.
Enti ye betcha ona ya chia etifo so na ya chia Ghana fo nyina no pay ye den chia kese efri Kaibu's Ventures aso ye e de ma Kessben etifo ne Kessben ahwefo nyina say ebre no mode mo fidie eto ha na mo ma ye kwan me de nsempa hodo efri Kaibu's Ventures aso ye na ye de bre mo adwoada anopa bia nte na anopa so matena se na enkaibo no eye tie na ye de eto Ghana de hye nyina anim say ebre we say wote Kaibu's Ventures wote ye di ana eye niema mienu na ye say ye de nkrofo fri o my Ghana mo atukwan e de akon nkrofo amai so na afa so djuma etoso ebiem eye ka ho edjuma na ye die enti wo ye Ghana ni de hye na sa anopa bia wo fidie da Kessben FM Kessben TV dia na wo de ahye wutiri mu say adwoada bia no eye Kaibu's Ventures ye beba wo fiefie mu na ye no abedi nkomo na ya boy adwuma de wura ye ho akire Ghana ade hye nyina enti na no pay fa waso feme kakra na menkai wo say eneidie say wo pe baabi atukwan ana say wo pe dwumaku a ombetimi aboa wo amwatu kwan dia na wada Roma Kaibu's Ventures na ye bekanfo ede ama na no pay empepia na ensema dodo na abusa ne sese ye nyina ye tukwan from man ni mu dia edu abato ahwan na beto nye nyina na ye tukwan Ghana fo adechi ade say wa ne ye wo ye hwese de wede ye dodo ne ho kakra bi a wokọ hospitals ahodo a amanfo afafuro no enya semketo akora enti nkura ne de ye wo mu gum papa eye na afi bia nso no ye bedi adanse se ebre bi ebeduru se ebeto aba ne ye nya mo fra mo nya 18 years or more register enti o man ne de ye doso pa na ye doso no so ye mpanyimfo no o man ye o mafam de enya hihye bia na ebo ye titiru mabunu na me nya adwuma ye enti na wo ye baburu na wo de adwuma sem akwan ho akwan ho a wunya ba bia mfa nkofo amai so de adwuma na eguo se do so poa enti no ye yu ba bi na anye ya na wakọ ba bi na wakọ to abrabo ne so na etimi abo enti na no pay Kaibu's Ventures na make for dia ma o se bra na efo akonto hu sembeda ye na ye ntimi emoa o ba bi biara opese okọ wiase afa na nyina Kaibu's Ventures ya ye krado se ye betimi aboa na ye di wani me agye o tata na ya hwe ama wakonto hu sem na bibia ye kama enka ne ye wo fa no ye papa no ye nana no mutu kwan no ye say o mpese mbefa me baby e wo akurase mpese mbefa me baby wo krokesie mu connection man do kosi baby a na waja wesi no wani aye ontoto baby a wo kọ no unim anka wo to man so anka wo nana bobo nchampese bi a at least wo benya bi edi na so na connection man achinchim na na wo papa na wo fa bi sika edi na wo de wakwa kosi man twa baby na wani chese wani tutu aka won sem pa na so ene Kaibu's Ventures ye ba ye no esa haw no nyina no afri wo enti ene wo pe travel and toy very genuine betimi abo wadi wanim na baby biara wo pese wo kọ wiase afana ne ye de wo kọ de a wada Romana no pay Kaibu's Ventures and American for edi ama so beba ya so ye na woni abedi nsa wo so ne yetimi abo na wakwanto hu nsem ne nyina no ya hye bibia wa no edi ama obi wo hono ma na sesebra me ne wo kasa wo tie ye e wo Kessben FM e bia trotro driver bi e na abiem huja e na wo tie bie enti wada Roma bra so se wo si form 1 number Kaibu's Ventures ye didi nsa wo so no e ye 0556 735422 0556 735422 0556 702834 0556 702834 enti ebrewe wo si form dia na wada Roma waka se Kaibu's Ventures ye number ni a obetumi afre meni abema ene bai meja no na ono so akakakra
Okay, all right.
Nya baye das Kaibu Ventures no
Be Mike na mame
but you travel and tour specific travel and tour experts pa de me to open travel and tour bia se bia wutu kwa Schengen wo ko Europe wo ko any country bia for the Kaibu Ventures me baby bia ma simple your office no so anya market deeper life junction on ma to nya dura nya marketer also pe deeper life junction na ho na Kaibu Ventures wo it's a fa akwantu bia say ye baby apeso okubia for ni dan Kaibu Ventures e be bo ama bibia ya simple amount Kaibu Ventures the adwuma ye ya no your number with me friend say be start boy 0556 702834 and you say no Anya Market Deeper Life Junction Anya Market Deeper Life Junction if our kwantu na be dan Kaibu Ventures mini bibia amount
okay
Kojo na me de Kaibu's Ventures in obia nim se Kaibu's de baka ho ensensem pa dia yedi mo tintemai pa nti enei wo ye adwumakuo na wo hwe wadwuma for time a wo mo bedi santen atolai aba adwuma na je se de eso mo ye no na akachi nti so wo pese wo talkers e de ma wo workers a obetimi aba na Kaibu's Ventures ye no wa ye nhyehyeye enhyane no be ye no so emu da ho kama betimi aboa wo ye babunu so a wasi so e bia wo pe cars nkitwa ibi e de aye adwuma wo da ye boat wo ba ne ade ibi nso a eno so ba Kaibu's Ventures se wo pese ye krabi na bosome me yensa pepepe chi na aba bedru o my Ghana mu ya clear wade kama ma wanu so betimi ayama se nei usika nso abro bekasa ye ready na wo pe eye ka ni bia to animu aya ade Kaibu's Ventures ya ye ready se ka bia wo pe bia ka bia wo se Enam Street ni so biara wo ho eso a wo pese wo to ne de Kaibu's Ventures ye wo bi e wo yaso ya ye betimi aye ede amawo eno achi wo bi wo ho no ma wo se ya kwantu emi nya mekopa wo nsema sister ike mu ode na su kudi ni ho bra Kaibu's Ventures ye no betna se ni ene wa yenhyehyɛ de hia ne se wode no kredie be ye adwuma fi se ye so no kredie e na ye de eye adwuma enti bomodea se obeba yaso ye na akwantuo hu nsensem ne de bibia fa be hye yensa ebre bia meka obi wo ho no ma wa ye business ache wo ko Nigeria wo ko Togo ko fefa ne ma be nei wo hu se ne sika ne mu ayedu wo pese wo ko manfo China ibi wo pese wo ko manfo Turkey ibi e ko fa ne ma ba ibi wo pese wo ko fa UK wo London wo anase bi wo pe ko US ko fa designers ibi bakra na ni nyina no Kaibu's Ventures ye behwe na ye di wanim ba bia wo pese wo kwa akwantuo de wo mu bia de etua mu bia no obi kan ye no e na ye di ho dwuma ntibra na ye ntimi emwa wo na afesu ka no ho nsem no fa bedan ye ka wo na fo obi wo ho no mo a ka no wa kra bia utimu se wo hu so bra Kaibu's Ventures ka bia wo pe bia se e ko long journey se ne na mantra ya bobo troto ni bia ma oni ade nyina ene Kaibu's Ventures emeyen hyehyeye na ya kwadre ewo yadwuma mu a yenim ni ayeye enti yadwuma na yeye no efini nkikawa bia enihu empanyifo wase bia omo kasa asempa de eye tie enti ebra asempa ye tie na me kai wo se Kaibu's Ventures ye wo Asante Mantem kodua kumase ukopie mu eye ohwim Hotel Junction ho na yaso ye no ebutuo enti ene wo kumase ene ne mpotemu na upese oba yaso ye ne ebedi nsa wo so abomodian se wo bekọ eye Abreport Junction eye Sofolai na afesu G roundabout obetumi enya eye ohwim car ewo ho wo se wo kọ Hotel Junction udu wa numbers ya me de betu dwa ne obomodian afre numbers no eno so bepie mu ewo Nkramantem ase de menua be maka ne ye wo enya market udu enya market pepe pa obom se wotu wani a abrosa somebody kese bi si wono ma ya choso Deeper Life kekefo ne wo ho wa tu de ohu keke drivers na wo se wo moncho ba bi Kaibu's ye office ne ewo ye wo kwan no pe ye kira kwan ne enye yira kwan kra enti bomodian ene Kaibu's eni sa wo so numbers a ye didi dwa no eye 0556 73 5422 0556 735422 0556 702834 0556 702834 and on the numbers are Kaibu's Ventures yedidi ensa waso.
Okay, all right. But I see. Intino yababa na ya bedi nkomo se na bedi kanka de bia no ye de ade na baba ka se Friday na baba be mu mamba but ne de obo a obe mefrɛ wo ye be dem mefrɛ.
Okay. Hwemeni
why but I say pa ye ne Kaibu group of companies and adventures ye omo edi nkomo no ye ba be sha say have 19 minutes past hour of 9 ye ba be di nkomo na fe ya hwɛ de ekoma men kan cho say chepam say men kan cho say wo pentare papa dia then you are looking for your best tailor ever ono ene chepam enti no ko na ompempa mentare ne ma say na opa media ma me send kama ya me ma mi wo mu nyina ono na hwɛ men kakra chepam say men kan cho say oh yeah the best tailor ever. And indeed, I can attest to it. Or I will she market to honum and or obetimi afreno. It was 0206837738 0206837738. Not only a chepam edi and common say you are sorry entire year sebi a year say a party say a wedding. Nina no fre a chepam na obeshe nina amount. Saso na make sure say Bayport say almost fixed deposit no omugu so mu hu adwuma ni no say wo hia bi pa dia na say so Udu sika beto na omo eshema 16 to 20% interested here. Pay we na opedi. So for instance, what they 5,000 ebre for aye afe ba ko a won sa ebeka 1,000 Ghana cedis interest e was so sa so and now the 20,000 ebre for busumi nsia won sa ebeka 1,820 e was so sa so and say what the 100,000 ebre for aye afe ba ko a won sa ebeka 20,000 Ghana cedis as interest on your money. And you know and Papa mention remember who is an Bayport as we can understand the test of time. And then to me, Ashama be to me, Akuyama from or also share Mr. Bonnie. What's it, Mr. Bonnie? Kojo Preko Dankwah na same for na me no ending come and fire fix deposit in home. Friend no, I was 0245 153 283 0245 153 283 and that's 020412 5878 020412 5878 unsa ebetumi aka ono Charles McCarthy ewufie ha no me obedi nkomo sa so na ye Ziga eso ewufie ha ye ba bedi nkomo ni ahwe de eko ene de eba nyina yesa ne se ese edi nkomo efa many other issues including the Unibank ene aban de akoso ene de esi nyina eba bedi ho nkomo Charles bi aboko de yes nice Uhuza anama edwada sayentensia be hia sa de na asem no so ne ba be di nkomo pa yes Yeni komo yen share quick na fi yen share. I want to take your thoughts on that. I mean, we started on Friday checking the issue of Unibank and Afi. So the Attorney General Becca here. I'm sure you've gone through certain documents that we also have here. Your take on this Unibank issues and Afi, your overview of all the things that are really transpiring.
Yo, Singapore, my man was na menkase Attorney General's office. We be say a creation of law. A mra any their office. That is the only officer require na ministry requires a benya finance person and a legal person na wadano. That's the only ministry. A requirement say he must be a lawyer. If you have ever have a minister of justice, Ghana have only legal background. For reason, we go for Article 88. Or see, there shall be an Attorney General of Ghana who shall be a Minister of State and the principal legal advisor to government. Principal legal advisor to government. And you know, aban ekoye bibia na efamra ho a nipa o sese otofu ana so ye sese otofu eye Attorney General's office. In the case of Unibank, any Ministry of Finance, ni amano dodo esiwe no eye Dr. Kwabena Dufo, Dr. Dufo, Professor Newman, Kojo Kusi, any Boatima Kakra Dufo Nyako, almost in accordance with Section 10 of the State Proceedings Act 1998, Act 555, no, Omo issue an intention to join the Attorney General in the suit. Now, Omo make claims against the Ministry of Finance. And you know, Omo katre Attorney General, look, ministry no have engaged in several unlawful acts. Act number 1, appointing KPMG as the official administrator it is against the law and the banking sector, the prevailing laws in the banking sector. Almost near Tosum, you know, appointing Ni Amano Dodu, our year part of KPMG, as the official receiver. You're wrong. It's Yamra. Omoko Swaka say transferring Unibank's good asset to consolidated bank and also Tiamra. They went further to accuse the Ministry of Finance and say, Oma mislead the president with arriving at the decision to dissolve the bank. According to Omono, the minister's advice to the president was full of misinformation. Omomo Jidini said the president have not been properly briefed. And the Attorney General known the role now will play and say or seek information from the Ministry of Finance to help himself or better defend Abain. And the draw letter on the 25th of January 2019, and a letter addressed to Kenoforiata. Say, Mr. Kenoforiata, the Honorable Minister, Ministry of Finance, Ministries, Accra, read, which means a reply to suit number CM/RPC/06/0624/2018. Ni Amano Dodu versus Dr. Dufo and 16 others. Notice of intention to join the Attorney General. What is it? Into almost every notice, it was a case joined as a some yedi asemoha. Na senior ya wona wo charge. Na Richard say no. As somewhere cause we there. Say man ko ka hu ana mama obi amedwane a ebetimi aha me omudi asem nu until you file to join. And there is an application to join the Attorney General to this. And to urge preliminary observations, any requests for comment, and to study docket, any facts available, and not trust 11-page letter dated 25th January 2019 to Ken Oforiata. Say, men are made to abide a banner emranse moi. Men shemu kakra maye. And say, mobu emra afgu. Ni asasa mu ye emra kwan so no. Mo anye. Mu ni kwan tama mu gu bank no kra no. Na enye se mu gu bank no. Na akwanya wo se mo be mo opportunities o mu ni mo betra ase. No ma kire kwanya on be faso a bank ni benya wonde. A bit to see Kata wo kan ye from Dr. Kwabena Dufo. Yeah. Our motor say 1 billion. A beko ha 1 billion, beko ha 3.1 billion in assets. Omudi bebe kan within asifo nyina. And all these things have been provided to the Minister of Finance. But Buapayo adrim moninti oman diso oman musu. And omo course wa edigu bank no. Because according to Godfrey, Yebo Adamia was signed Kratano. Also on TSO, say the day na you go Unibank, sad day no no more incorporate your friend Ghana Consolidated Bank. Also on TSO, see that same day, and I'm more transfer assets of this so-called collapsed bank into we.
Why the rush?
And you premeditated.
Okay.
Because you have one day in register company. Nobody can incorporate a company in a day. No matter your status in this country. Oko Registrar General. It takes time. And check 2 weeks to 3 weeks. And you incorporate the company. But this company was incorporated on the 1st of August.
Yeah, 1st of August. Yes.
Which means the process has begun.
Yes.
The incorporation date in the data of certificate in the amount. In the test the minister no Ken Oforiata wa born timu po si kwan bia so banks in the obegunu. Enti what process that singing no against the Attorney General's advice. Now, what step process as to register Ghana Consolidated Bank? And you choreographed. And until one for Attorney General advice. That letter was signed, yes, to see the American government, your board, and the store letter carry. Some of the observation our year, or see by a letter dated 22nd June 2018, the official administrator notified the Minister of Finance of overdue payment from government and government-related entities to Unibank as at 31st May 2018. In the sum of, you see, what the Obika, this money is even in contention. What the make up? Now, say, oh, say me boom, say, me see kana odi mama. It is buying the Unibanks in Kamano. Sanko debation in banking. The same thing applied to your friend, the GN Bank.
Okay, Pakwesi there.
Pakwesi there no. Now, Bank Jessica on ho. You won't pay. Now, what can one say? Oko fat way, Cedra Gongo there. That is Heritage Bank.
Yes, Heritage, yes.
And no, now, so any. The only thing on can so Cedra Gongo Ejina court on a different matter. Now, the fear and they said by the time a court in the seminary, it may affect the bank. How?
So that one they premeditated, say
about premeditated.
I'm going to they were able to tell.
Yeah.
Money the basic of a court there.
Yes.
But you're able to tell, say you make your court then we go.
No.
Yes, what vision?
What vision? Until who good answer? Case in us, and I would dear good. Pakwesi ndum die sa. So you see, a bind there, anka you are for the welfare of the people. Or mining kanko. And it's a Ghana be bank. Na bank need ye well. Na say on your challenges what do you do? Esi we ni omo sinko nya. Na chiro omo kwan ya o metimi aye no ma improve na bank no agina na so. Tumrika enkogu bank no. Say nya adwe money na na work no for that team a and I don't think say that decision was a good decision.
Okay.
And until na me be car say e car ya bo. Any Kwamadu for bank ni adia AC ne according to Dominic Ayani's your friend the accountability series. I think say ya bo mine Ghana from and anybody involved, i.e. Ken Oforiatta should be answering questions because you were a buying lawyer or who kon wa won sika. Watufu.
Yeah.
One yen advice.
Yes.
And why yet ni a opese oye de oye ne di asama brain. E ka ya boni na kesi ye sheke no Oforiatta manitua. Yeah, your mayanka parliament e what tuta etimi bite ya. E your mayor timanka your parliament e ye proactive. So Dankwah anka by this time.
Yeah.
Oforiatta and the Minister of Finance will be answering questions as to why they ignored the express advice from the Minister of Attorney General.
Okay.
Omantimi, the request our your document or so family no. Omantimi provided document up to a ne. And the DRBC hanum. And nobody should blame Dominic Ayeni for the mess of Ken Oforiatta.
Yeah. Okay.
So bibi wo why see a yas or maya a ya chopper and they see a pack of not before the macho.
Okay.
Because the number to me see you.
Yeah.
Or met me see your man. Say you go when you must say I'm a buying no song machine or moody sikana koye estate. Yes, I guy. So a buying no song machine this kana koye estate. So I some require sabu a rodura dancem.
Efesina
sabi a young kwasiasem. Because a Bosnia na buying their mom. So support na buying kikasi my mom support to Medino and your Bosnia and your free a Bosnia with interest.
All right. Ziga, maminti you, make out say a discussion de bro in an doc chaco and a day so ya sene say your fire side discussions way in and bro into them. Ziga, na me kono hosis ya Ziga, maminti you na fe yeah baby yeah. Yes sir.
Boss.
Yes sir.
Me financial person.
Yeah, sure.
Me banker, me economist. Finance on the teaching for 4 days. You read the commentaries. na kakra wunim no na ade aka ho let's say be a meeting nkofo ade abeka I don't do that but I listen to experts so you listen to them then uhu de eko you don't come and say what they say but who did that to be from say obia sebe nyankopa ma adwene ni nyansa de be kwa chese Dr. Kwabnado for issue hereby you listen to people that have the financial background and the financial oriented people. If you listen to them, I would say it's a mixed reaction. It be come there, be say the Attorney General na ye. It be say why are there? It be say why do you have to take 60% and leave the rest? I'm on minor boka. Say be say go full fledged near GSC can all this stuff. Me financial person. But in everything, say me deducting normal na ekona. The bottom line is yes, Dr. Kwabnado for sika no ane da ho no na nye ni sika e no watam de akoya ade foforo tin you deposit for sika which the Bank of Ghana regulation speaks against it e no de akoya ade foforo so de akoya ade foforo. Did you hear anybody complaining that Unibank misika akokom mensankada? Did you hear that?
No.
You see, these are some of the things Debiana make us say. This country, I'm not saying this to hold breath for Dr. Kwabnado for Jamaican what I say because I'm not a financial person. It's not me maybe defended Dr. Kwabnado for me defended Dr. Kwabnado for and now one more say Dr. Kwabnado for Attorney General Jai Dr. Kwabnado for no. I'm not with them. I'm not with them. But maybe they minimum say this country in every year almost 150,000 people and as a student in the university. University nipa buying annually buying nipa of form is about 82,000. Say quite they say swat about 60 something thousand. They make what I say. Buying for nipa, they are just giving value to the society. And you are buying and the funny peduma. So for nurse, or for doctor, or for police, military near and yet the onus of the government to provide us security, health, so you are just giving value to the society. It's the chunk of university graduate now about nephew. And will be one co-university down. The only a year bet me a survival in the private sector. They make what I say. It is a private sector and a bar. What the government have to do and they say you make the private sector strong. That is why when President Kufo came, initially come by one district, one factory issue, and then then what Fenton, the former World Bank president, advised President Kufo that look, you cannot go in this way. Start with making sure that the private sector be strong. Or be stronger. And Kufo be near Jumaye. The economy be shaky. It at a point to talk banks. Why we near Juma zero account near the bro. President Kufuor's time. So it became strong. So what we have to do is say, make sure that the private sector be strong. So we BB and then year for we need to need part the chunk of people that working under them. They make what I say. Nipanwa the private sector na employ wo do so edu do hu kwa kasa nipanwa nipa bebre kwatena fie enti se Unibank anye bibi ya edie na yentimi nka edie na yentimi nye survival bank no ne punish Dr. Kwabnado because man go to America sad we see when you go to Nigeria. I used to read a magazine, a friend Observers magazine. Madam Fubu in Nigeria, or a journalist, a friend Raphael Okori, or a lecturer, or Sabagana, or that now or this send me. Then I realized that Nigerians, Makati, your friend say, deliberately they create millionaires. Nigerians, they create millionaires. Dangote Munina, they have deliberately created them. First batch, second batch, as of 2012, ABC 2022, Nigerians were creating over 150 billionaires. Now they have started in 2023 to 2033, they are creating 200 millionaires. People can go and check it. Whether good or bad, they protect them. We don't protect people that created employment for this country. Sure, my mama are rehusebi, but the manu besi don't worry. My mama are rehusebi. Yenya niyama.
Yes.
Niyama. Shall the companies be reborn? Ghana Revenue Authority for you, Obia Kubisa Nasimu. Obia, our companies are any hidden and you opened companies. They do not ask him anything until say Niyama Kodini birthday. That the Ghana Revenue Authority decided to call Niyama say Ocean taxes. Now, Financial Intelligence Center for Omudi Ayoma Juma, someone so be lovely style, jolly life. They have every right to question you. But what they do, they say, they do it underground. They don't do publications. They do it underground. Say publication baba. Ni ehunu ni say adena wo ye no di dream. Adena wo ye no kunipa. Adena wo ye no illegality wom. They make a watch say. But the first meeting, primary meeting, did they do publication? Say Abantiano Ghana Revenue Authority afano an international businessman. We are not protecting him. Look at the number of people I employ. Na ukoye sadi way. Nessa our partners were China, Obu US, Germany, Obu England, Obu who publication now. They will think that they are dealing with criminal. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of country are we? Chamame last one. Shayi, your father is a men's good.
Yes, quick one.
Men's good. Who will do the timeline of men's good? Hey, and we say, the last one, January 9, 2019, Circuit Court issued the warrant for the arrest of the men's good CEO.
Yes.
Nana Piamensa say, Adena Oye Nano would say false pretense by default, and defrauded by false pretense. That is what they told Nana Ayi, but deliberately. You good at human being. I feel more a good tree and not to want the Dankwah be catch say. You did charges be at the bond 1 2 chroma. Mebao. Men's gold dadano makati mu to the man. Men's gold. What is so big catch and say men's gold in Sika.
Dabi.
Until say you did men's gold eba be ko. Ye be ye na. I'm for you so no. Yeah, bank rush the buy. What is say? Men's go near back and forth to say, oh, pretty legally near you for 15 years at that time. You started seeing so good. Not to say, oh, Biabe Casa men's go, they didn't seek.
Until Casa or then who be showing to me, yes,
almost want to Chicago and to Tonoma. Sit him down, they can see him. That's it. Guide you, great millionaires. This great employment. Mr. Kessben, you're square. Yes, Kessben can be crying say and these people need to be protected.
May I say, Charles here just 30 seconds. I have 9:42. Just 30 seconds. Run up.
Odi bibiaka.
Entiminko.
On the car.
Odoka. Entiminko. And the Charles Miko. And a happy birthday to you, Adolphus, aka Mr. Ado of Kessben Media. Yeah, we show well. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Ado. Yakopo show, I didn't show. On show was so. Maybe see Mr. Ado. Happy birthday to you, and a happy birthday to you, Kingsley. I forgot. Way Fiesta Honor Kingsley. Happy birthday to you. And then happy birthday to you, Alexander. AKA Fire. Alexander, happy birthday to you. And then happy birthday to you, Akosia Ejapoma. Happy birthday to you. And then a happy birthday to you, Deacon Emmanuel Lama, ICGC Covenant Temple. Happy birthday to you, Dean. And I Deacon. Happy birthday to you. Oh, and then Kofi Apia birthday, so and happy birthday to you, Kofi Apia. What's it?
Editor.
I can't check classmates go for Kofi Apia.
I can't check classmates.
How
I see. Oh, and offer a happy 74th birthday. And 84th.
I said, wow.